Have you ever considered traveling to Northern Peru for a kite trip? Up until a couple months ago, I hadn't either. In this video, I'm gonna talk about what the kiting's like, how to get there, where to stay, and things you can do outside of kiting. Northern Peru is an epic spot, and I think it's gonna be one that you wanna put on your list. Let's start with the kiting. Kiting in Northern Peru is good from about April to December, with the windiest, most consistent parts of the year being August through November. Now, I was in Mancora, Peru in November, and we were riding 9 meters and 12 meters most of the time. The wind blew about 80% of the days, and that was in the peak wind season. So in the summer and spring, you're gonna expect the wind to blow about 50% of the days. As far as riding spots go, Mancora, Peru has a very consistent left-hand wave that you can ride. If you want a twin tip, then you're just gonna have some mild chop, and you're actually gonna have a little bit of flat water off the point there near that left-hand wave. When the wave's firing, it is a super fun wave to ride strapless, but when the wave's not firing, it's a great spot to twin tip right near town in Mancora. About an hour and a half south of Mancora, there's a spot called Negritos. Now, Negritos has this peeling left-hand wave, side-offshore winds, and it is a world-class spot for strapless riding. There are some other spots in Northern Peru, but the main ones that I went to was Mancora, which is where I stayed, and then Negritos to go ride that wave because I just heard it was epic. One other thing to note on the kiting is you can expect to wear anywhere from a shorty to a 3-2 wetsuit. The water's about 70, 72 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's plenty warm. You're not wearing a winter suit even though it's the Pacific Ocean. And the air temps are usually between 65 degrees in the night, and then the air temps can get up to about 80. Now, number two, how do you even get to Northern Peru? The easiest way is when you fly into Peru, you're gonna stop in Lima, most likely. From Lima, you're going to go to either Talara, which is a small airport south of Mancora, or you're gonna fly into Tumbes, which is north of town. From Talara, it's about an hour-long shuttle drive to go to Mancora. From Tumbes, it's more like a 2.5 hour shuttle ride to get to Mancora. Once you get to Mancora, there's a ton of different places to stay. The one that I stayed in was on the south end of town, and I think it was only about $45 a night, and that included the room along with all of our food. But there's plenty of other little hostels that you could stay in Mancora, so it wouldn't be an issue to find housing there. Now, if you wanted to stay in Negritos, there is a cool little kite hotel right in front of the wave that you could stay at, and then you could just, walk out front and go kite every day. Mancora is a developed town. There are plenty of little tourist shops. There's great places to eat, and there's a lighthouse with a very, very cool overview on top of the bluff. You can see the kite spot, you can see the surf spot, you can see whales, which is a super fun thing to do if you want to go watch the sunset for a night. Now, if you stay in Negritos, there is basically nothing there besides the hotel. So I'd say if you want restaurants, some sort of nightlife, stay in Mancora. If you're just hardcore, want to kite every day, go to bed early, then Negritos could be a good spot for you. So what is there to do in Mancora or Negritos outside of kiting? Well, I already mentioned restaurants, nightlife, stuff like that. But in Peru, in Northern Peru, the winds are thermal. So in the mornings, it is dead calm. This means in Mancora, that left-hand wave that's super fun to kite on, in the mornings, it's glass calm and you can surf it. There's usually minimal crowds on the weekdays. On the weekends, it can get a little bit crowded. But the surfing in Peru in the mornings without the wind is super fun. It's also a beginner-friendly wave, so you could totally bring the family and go ride together. Northern Peru is a super fun kite spot, and not a ton of people know about it. It's also cheap, so it's definitely something that you should look into in the future. If you guys have any questions about Mancora, Peru, Negritos, Peru, or just Northern Peru in general, feel free to leave a comment below. Hit us up on the live chat. We'd be happy to help you guys out. This has been Cole from MACkite. Happy travels, and I'll see you guys in the next one.